Hello and welcome back to Trails of Cold Steel 2. Last time we found Anton, and then after rescuing, he was totally fine. After rescuing him, we saw the appearance of a cryptid that took a long time to fight, and I was gonna quit real quickly, but then I like, oh, maybe this works, maybe that works, and it was actually kind of interesting. I enjoyed it because I'm like, okay, does physical immunity block his attack? Does art immunity? Learned art immunity blocked it, and the fight was trivial. But that was last time. Classic, hit them twice, they die. When you're over-leveled enough. Now it's time to explore here because there are a few people to talk to. Somewhere. Guerrilla by Road 1 is where I need to go. Should be pretty easy. It looks like there's a slight quest because they are students, but I am going to kill each of these that I run into. Because it's free Sepith. But now there will be people somewhere here. Way up there. Yeah. Ooh. I am going to see if I can enter that area. I'm not sure if there's a quest requiring me to go there. I assume they're not going to let me explore that. But I will try. Oops, I ran right past where I need to go first. Yeah, I think the game's been... I think it's been going better this act than it was previously. Wait. So, cooking club and lacrosse club? I think? No, not no, that is lacrosse, right? Oh, now here are some familiar faces. Whoa, it's class 7. I'm glad we finally found you two. Long time no see, Reen. What are you guys doing here? I should have brought Alyssa with me if I'd known or remembered her name. Well, both parties exchanged information. I thought I did bring Alyssa. Maybe I didn't. You guys have certainly been busy. You're behind that ash-colored knight everyone keeps talking about? Heh, figures. Class 7's always been pulling off crazy stuff like that thingy. We're not that bad. I mean, you are, but... You've been setting up those transmission relay devices, right? Yeah, we've been using them to gather intel. You're a cook. I have to say, though, getting by with the bare minimum of ingredients while doing it has been a struggle. So he says, but we've been having fine dining pretty much every day thanks to his amazing cooking skills. I'm practically eating better than when I was cooking for myself at Thor's. Practically. You should definitely be, right? Haha, you flatter me. Oh yeah, we actually met Teresia while we were in Brehard. She was pretty worried about you. So she managed to get home safely? Then? Phew. I'll have to pay her a visit soon. If you need help with that, we'd be glad to make it happen. Though it may be a while before we set foot in Brehard again. How about it? Want to come aboard? As much as I'd love to give you an instant yes, I can't. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. It's your choice. We've still got some business to take care of first. Is it anything difficult? Well, you kind of caught us while we were getting ready to set up some relay devices around here. Was the dialogue broken? This is the last place on our list, actually, so we shouldn't be long. Would you mind waiting until we're done? Oh, I see. Helping them out with this might make life easier for all of us. Help out? We might as well help out since we're already here, right? Not to mention things will go much quicker if we divide up the work. Are you sure? Thanks. That'd honestly be a huge help. Here you go, Reen. This is your batch. Oh, they're smaller than I expected. Well, yeah, they're designed to be attached to orbment lights. We have George to thank for these handy little guys. Somehow supplying them. His handiwork's as impressive as ever. We'll leave you in charge of setting them up on the lights around this area. Try to set them a roughly equal distance apart. We'll set our batch up on the road that runs parallel to the Transcontinental Railroad. Then we'll meet you back here once we're done. Sound okay? Understood. Let's get to it then. We should remain wary that we don't get caught off guard by monsters while setting these up too. It's weird that Gaius had one line when he's forced upon you, like, you have to bring Gaius for this section. So it's weird that he had less to say than Laura. Or even Elliot. It's kind of an odd choice. And I wonder why that was their decision. Yeah, I ran past one, but I wanted to check this first anyway. Yes, the transmitters need to be tiny for these giant lights. Guess we'll start with this one. Reen open the security panel and place the relay device inside it. That should probably do it. Should probably be it. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's see if I can go in here. Figures. Yeah, the game's making some progress. Nothing, like, incredibly noteworthy, but I hope that the future cryptid fights are as mostly interesting as that first one was. Because I don't know. I found that first cryptid fight annoying initially, but it actually had counterplay to its primary mechanic, which some bosses don't seem to consistently have. Which, mostly, the bosses that seem to not have much counterplay are because they have 250,000 HP and you can do 10k a turn. Which would be solved by doing what I did for the fight, the cryptid fight, which was just S-craft spam for 30 to 50k every like 5 turns, 10 turns. What even did the most damage? Like, the S-craft hit for 57k and then like 33k fees to S-craft that she did not when I fought it. I hit for like 45k with the mech. All of that adds up to about 130k of like 220. Wait, I thought that was... Did I miss one? I did run right past it. I'm assuming I have to go back anyway, and they won't nicely teleport me back, but... Yep, so that wasn't even a waste of time. Yeah, I don't know if gameplay-wise it's going to become incentivized to use S-crafts for those types of bosses. It's kind of uninteresting, but when an S-craft only does 25% of their HP, it's not as bad. Even if you fully spec to do as much damage as you can with it. Hey, welcome back. Guess if you're here, you're all done? Indeed. Again, why is Gaius not speaking despite being forced upon us? And the same goes for you. Yeah? Did you run into any trouble? We're about to get attacked, right? Nope. We got all 6 of them set up fine. I mean, maybe not, but it feels like we should. Now the question is whether we set them up correctly or not. No need to worry about that, actually. We've already run a transmission test and everything checked out. We're good to go. So you didn't even have to ask if we'd set them all up. You already knew. Thank goodness. Well, that wasn't too difficult. Does that mean you're ready to board the Courageous then? Count us in. Things will be a cinch now that you've got the Blazing Maiden on board. I'll be sure to pull my weight so we can get around to picking up Teresia and Ferris too. Haha. I can't deny that making food on the Courageous has me pretty excited. I'll make sure that everyone on board gets the best meals I can provide. Thanks for joining us, Emily, Nicholas. And that's the end for this area. Now it's time to go to the Courageous and travel to Legram. Because there's one more quest. Wrong buttons. Yeah, find our first years is just collect Casper and Vivi, who are in Legram. And this one's also in Legram. So,
where do you want to go?
To Legram.
Full speed ahead!
They were able to pick us up right by the military stronghold for some reason. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of people to talk to. Can't go there. I don't need to go out there yet. I might not need to go out there at all. Yeah, I don't need to. So I'm gonna talk. The fishing spot's not gonna be restocked. I wonder what dictates the restocking of fish. Because like, it's been a week at least. The kids. Man, Lord Arcade's so darn cool. I'm gonna be just like him when I grow up. And you can take that to the bank. Just watch me. Nope, I don't want to talk to you. Oh, he said something about he stopped by. Lord Arcade stopped by, you know what and you know what he did? He gave me a pat on the head. It's a sign that I'm gonna be just like him when I grow up. I know it. I think I might have finally seen the Viscount. At least, that's who everyone says I saw. He was super cool. Haha, Carno and Julian both will really look up to him. I can see why. Because they're short. He's the coolest. He's even guarding one of the princes, too, which makes him even cooler. That was the Radiant Blade Master, head of the Arcade School. I can't believe he's been fighting right under the bad guys' noses all this time. He's way too cool. I want to be big and strong like him someday, too. No, forget someday. I want to be like him right now. Carno lives here, right? It's weird that that first line was like, that was the Radiant Blade Master himself, as if he hasn't seen him multiple times a week in his normal everyday life. I'm pretty sure he lives here, so he should have seen him very regularly. It's this weirdo. I still think this guy could be. He's boring enough that he shouldn't be a villain, but he's just so... He just got pulled out of nowhere, and he doesn't have a character, which is either the type of character that doesn't matter at all, or is a villain. But anyway, hello there. I've heard what you're up to these days. You're traveling around on the Courageous gathering information, I believe. As a member of the guild, I'll be happy to do what I can to help, so don't hesitate to call on me. We'd appreciate that. Well, seeing as you were kind enough to offer, you wouldn't have any interesting information for us, would you? Interesting? Well, how about this? As I'm sure you can imagine, the Noble Alliance have wrested control of all the country's major towns and cities. But lately, there have been a number of people who've started forming small resistance groups and opposing them. Resistance groups? You don't mean... Supposedly, they've been standing up to the army's tyranny and supporting those who are being oppressed. And while this is just my instincts talking, I can't help but wonder whether they might be people you know. That definitely could be. Could does a lot of heavy lifting. It is, but it would be so much more fun if we meet the first 4 resistance groups we meet, because I assume we're going to meet them, are not students. It's just random people standing up for what they believe in. You wouldn't happen to know where any of those people were, would you? Well, considering they've gone this long without being caught, I'd say they're moving from place to place. Your best chance of running into them might be to explore relatively quiet highways. That makes sense. Thank you, Miles. Let's file that nugget away at the back of our minds and forget about it in 20 minutes. It's Mr. Carpenter. Have you heard? Lord Arcade came back to Legram. He didn't stay for long, sadly. But being able to see him again in person and hearing he's doing well is more than I ever could have hoped for. Well, you could have hoped for him to stick around. Like, it's not more than you could have hoped for. I hope that he knows he has nothing to worry about. We'll all throw our weight behind protecting Legram in his absence. You should be building, like, barricades or something. Like, oops. That transported me further than I thought, but like this place doesn't seal. So build like a barricade. Wood wouldn't do much against tanks or soldats, but it'd be better than literally nothing. This is a terrible war, but history tells us that the War of the Lions was even worse. There was no justice in that war. Even the knights who had sworn to protect the country began to plunder it, just like the noble faction is doing right now, with their extreme taxes that are justified by the war that they themselves started. It might have gotten worse if Prince Drykos hadn't stepped in and turned things around. The more I think about it, the more Prince Olivert has in common with Prince Drykos. I wonder if he'll be able to follow in his ancestors' footsteps and bring this war to an end. That's the second time that concept has been brought up, but I think it was explicitly like, even Prince Olivert's like, nah, he wouldn't believe that he's behaving like Emperor Drykos because he isn't. Woof woof. So I heard Lord Arcade entrusted you with the Courageous, did he? Since it's the property of the Imperial family, the Alliance will have to carefully weigh how they act toward it. It ought to prove a powerful asset to your cause. It seems Lord Arcade thought so put it to good use. We were so relieved to see Lord Arcade safe and well. Life may be more difficult here now than it was, but we'll get by. Lord Arcade is out there fighting for us. The mists have dissipated somewhat, and above all, I'm here with my family. As long as I have them, I can get through anything life throws at me. Interesting. Very positive. Your goats are still out there, though. The whole town is so much happier knowing that Lord Arcade is safe and well. It really makes me want to knuckle down and get some serious work done. The harder we all work, the less he has to worry about Legram while he's away. No complaining about Laura? What? They actually have their priorities straight? What's wrong with her? She actually has correct priorities. Ah, yes. She's the daughter of these two, and he was a senator or something. I can only take so much of my parents at any given time, so I thought I'd come up here and read a book or something. Which seemed like a great idea until I realized that this is the only book I own, and I've read it like 20 times. Maybe I'll go for a walk or something. We did come to Legram to sightsee after all, when we first came here forever ago. No free book. That's a sane thing to do. Who just gives away free books because they've read them once? Instead, read it 20 times. And then be sick of it because you've read it 20 times. I know, I do that. Not 20 times. I've read books like 5 times. And then by the 5th read, I'm like, okay, I can probably never reread this again. Or I wait at least 3 years. Lord Arcade took off on a liner for the Sutherland province as soon as he arrived. He's supposedly westward bound from there. If he were anyone else, I'd be worried about a strategy like that. But not Lord Arcade. He's going to be perfectly fine. And by the time he returns, he's bound to have a myriad of other achievements to his name. I have no doubt about that. Him dying on screen would be a real plot line. Surprised to see Maria working here. She decided to start helping us out. I tried to tell her it was unnecessary, but she was very insistent, so I ended up giving her the go-ahead. She's really a big help, though. With all the people stopping here as they flee from the combat in the west, more hands on deck come in handy. Maria. Her? Who's she? Oh, hello there. Welcome to Apricot's. I've decided to start helping out here as a way to pay the people of Legram back for all the kindness they've shown us. Ah, so she was the one whose son became friends with the junior Eisenritter, and she was here as a, like, refugee. That makes sense. So, which is why her name didn't ring a bell, because I just remembered her as a character who fulfilled that character line. I don't remember characters' names. I don't remember the senator's name, because why would I? He's the senator dude, and the other person is the senator dude's wife. We're not going to fight them in combat. They're not important to the story. They're fun to talk to, though. I still have a lot to learn about this job, but practice makes perfect. You don't have as much practice as you could if it was a busier place. I can't believe we were already halfway through December. Ordinarily, I'd be sipping champagne and rubbing elbows at a lavish party right about now, yet here I am. Why can't I wake up from this endless nightmare? Well, practice makes perfect. Don't walk into people. Ugh, that damnable Duke Cayenne. I dismissed him as little more than a pompous idiot with a hideous sense of fashion. But he was playing us for fools the whole time. Now he has those soldats and that battleship and, ugh. If Chancellor Osborne were still alive, things would have played out differently right now. Very differently indeed. Kind of weird, but... Oh wait, I still have to talk to the kid. What am I doing? Sniffle sob. Patiri. Your cargo, right? Machias's friend? I know you put in a request for help, but what are you doing all the way out here in Legram? Did something happen? What do you think happened? A bunch of noble soldiers came busting into the Ost district, and that got us real salty, so we gave them some of the old ba-bang, kapow. Then they got mad at us and turned the tables. They wouldn't give up either, but then Patiri, damn it. If I parse that correctly, it sounds like he really needs our help with something. With something. I guess Patiri's in trouble? That's about all I got to. We should try to get him to calm down a little, so he can explain things before it's too late. Maybe bringing Machias with us would help. I mean, they are friends of a sort. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's go back to the Courageous and get him. Darn, I was hoping I could do this without Machias. Darn, at least I didn't have to manually swap. Those damn soldiers getting all big for their boots, thinking they're so tough. They deserve the kapow we gave them. I didn't think they'd be so stubborn, though. Or that Patiri would... God damn it. Well, he's still crying. I guess, well, he's not actually crying. He's yelling, sort of. But I guess we won't be able to get anything else out of him while he's like this. Allow me to translate. The patrolling soldier's arrogance irritated him and Patiri greatly. Yeah, that was obvious. What a waste of time. In response, they tried setting traps for them using boxes and drum cans in an effort to drive them away. Naturally, this did not go according to plan, as anyone with half a brain would expect. Machias, what the hell are you doing here? I don't need a dork like you to help me sort this out. I can do it just fine on my own. Of course, I can tell from the tears streaming down your face that you're off to a flying start. Machias, I have no idea how you turned what he just said into what you just said, but I'm impressed. Other than it being specifically traps, it was very easy to interpret what they were saying, and the end point of they attacked them and got in trouble didn't change. This was a waste of time. Huh. I wasn't aware that you spoke delinquent. Unfortunately for me, I've had to put up with the two of them for a long time now. You pick some things up after a while. I'm fairly sure I know how the rest of this story goes, too. When the traps failed to have their intended effect, the soldiers gave chase. As they ran, Cargo and Patiri lost sight of one another, which led to their current quandary. Yeah, that's right. We were running from him, but then Patiri told me to go on ahead. We were supposed to meet up here, but she still hasn't shown. I can't sniffle. Patiri... Well, at least we've finally gotten to the bottom of what happened. Could this mean that soldiers did capture her after all? It wouldn't be a surprise with how heavily guarded the capital is. Now I'm starting to worry about her. I hope she's all right. I'd save your concern. Those two always defy expectations. Don't take a word they say at face value. But what's that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean, Marcus? It's supposed to mean that she probably wasn't captured by a soldier. Cargo, we should make a few things clear. You two definitely specified Legram as the town to meet up in, correct? That's what I said, didn't I? I mean, we were kind of panicking at the time with the soldiers chasing us and all. But Patiri took out a map and pointed right at this part where Legram is. She said we were meeting at a tiny little place in the boonies where no soldiers would ever even care enough to find us. Maybe you shouldn't talk about the town like that right in front of all of its residents. Well, he isn't wrong, technically. And speaking as a resident, I don't find such an apt description offensive. Still, if they had a map, I can't imagine we're dealing with any sort of misunderstanding. Neither can I. They're both Erebonians, so it's not likely they'd end up in different towns. One more question, Cargo. Were you both on the same side of the map when you were doing this? Or were you on opposite sides facing one another? Which wouldn't make sense because she pointed at it, which in theory should mean placing her finger at the location. Yeah, we were facing each other. So what? Have you worked something out, Machias? I think so. When they agreed on their destination, one of them was looking at the map upside down and was too stupid to understand. Ha ha ha, good joke. I doubt she ever even mentioned Legram. She probably pointed to the part of the map and said, here. They probably didn't even realize how much of a misunderstanding it would cause. The only reason it would cause misunderstanding is if you don't fundamentally look at the map when they point at it. Interesting. Very impressive. I won't even ask if your deductive reasoning is the result of pure logic or past trauma. Good. You're the last person I need on my back when I'm dealing with these two. Still, if that's the case, then Patiri's gone off to an entirely different town. We should look for a town that fits her description and is on the opposite side of the capital from Legram. Good thing we have the courageous. Okay, we're off to find Patiri. Any objections, Cargo? Did you work something out? Yeah, you're going to become cargo for our ship. What are you wasting your time here for, then? If you find her, let me know right away. You better promise. We will. Just stay away from me. You're getting snot everywhere. Wow. I have to buy something from Watto's store. Is this Watto's store? I don't know if... Okay, it's not Watto's store. Which one is Watto's store? This one. I haven't talked to these people, so I'll do that real quick. I can't imagine you haven't already heard the wonderful news, but Lord Arcade has returned, and then left. That's not to say I feared for his safety for even a second, however. He's simply too capable a man to ever be defeated. His finer points extend beyond strength, too. He's a man who values peace above all else, and strives to protect the weak. Strong of body and noble of mind, that's our Lord Arcade. I need to buy a book. Gambler Jack, Volume 9. And that's already purchased. I have main quest stuff to do, but I'll leave that till I come back. Toval's gone off with Lord Arcade to fight for peace. I'm sure Lord Arcade needs all the help he can get, too. The situation in the West gets more and more dire every day. Toval's a capable man, so I'm sure his assistance will be a great asset. I wish I could go help him myself, but I suppose I'll have to run my shop as well as possible to show my support. Should I do some orbit stuff? He's maxed. Given the option, I'll bring her for every quest because she has offensive art capabilities, supportive art capabilities, very useful. Yeah, let's do this. He would benefit from more art capabilities. Okay, anyone that needs earth. Him? Anyone else need earth? Not that I currently have with me. So, I won't go up there yet. It's time to complain. I don't know the button. It's time to complain about the response to this quest. So,
Where do you want to go?
we are currently here. Heimdall is here. What is the opposite side of Heimdall? Over here. Not Ymir. If it, like, I guess if they had a map that was centered on Lunaria Nature Park or Keldic, it would make sense. But realistically, shouldn't they have a map that includes the entire country, empire, whatever, that would extend further to the left here? So if she was holding it from her side, or I guess she was holding it from the other side, she was on the far side, she pointed here. The only way he could misunderstand would be if he thought over there. So the logic doesn't actually track. The only reason it works is because the map we have is only this side, but they were in Heimdall. So the map they would use would be centered in Heimdall, and it would include the stuff to the left. So the, like, basically, well, I mean, the whole thing hinges on them being dumb, so it makes sense that they made a dumb decision, but the logic doesn't actually track. Come on, spit it out. Where'd you hide cargo? I know you did it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Wait, who's cargo? Is that Patiri? Well, I'm glad we found her, but I can't believe she actually ended up here. It looks like Machias' theory about the map was correct, and completely baseless, and the logic doesn't really track. But whatever. Because if you pointed at a map and you mirrored it, it would go across the capital. It wouldn't stay on the same east side of the capital. But I guess they have bad memory and it coincidentally ends up this way. Yeah, might be a good idea to let him know before we try talking to her. Why? Why not just talk to her? Oh, okay, at least I don't have to bring Machias into the team manually. She really was here. Hey, Patiri, could you please stop causing problems for strangers? Machias? The hell are you doing here, huh? It's not like I actually care, but it's nice to see your stupid face. I suppose. She's acting a bit odd. Oh well, because her best friend is missing. I'm glad to see you're well too. But seriously, what were you thinking, trying to pick a fight with the army? We heard all about what happened. No good can come from worrying people so much, you know? What? Look who's talking. Pardon? You've got no idea how worried Ost was when we heard you were wanted by the army. For all we frickin' knew, you were dead in a gutter somewhere. Imagine. And then Uncle Carl ended up getting arrested on top of it all. Why do you think we started picking fights in the first place? We were scared. She wouldn't admit that. I don't think that fits her character. We were pissed off. We were... Whatever. It was better for us to do it than letting some amateur try their luck. So that's what really happened. I'm not surprised that people in your neighborhood would be worried about you. I'm sure Fiona must be really worried about me too. Except that's a little, like, that's more reasonable for her to be worried about, him because siblings, but... Sorry, I had no idea that was the case, and there's totally stuff you can do about it. I'm sorry for worrying you all so much. You should be saying that to everyone back home, not me. Anyway, that idiot Cargo said he was going to meet me here ages ago, but he still hasn't shown up. So you're gonna help me look for him. Speaking of cargo, he's in the cargo hold, ha 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 ha. I almost forgot, somehow. Whoops, completely slipped my mind. So she really did intend for them to meet here. Although, there's no way to tell who was in the wrong now. This whole affair is so ridiculous. I'm not sure it even matters at this point. What? You guys know something? You better not have him tied up somewhere, because if you do... Let's say we bring him here before she accuses us of anything else. They flew the courageous Legram to pick up cargo, then brought him back to Ymir. I think Legram is maybe a nicer place to stay, because it's not snowy, but whatever. Patiri cargo. Oh no, so happy. We definitely were worried about them. Unf. Ack. The hell have you been all... The hell have you been? All this time? That's weird. Like, it makes sense, but it's like... The hell have you been doing? And the hell have you been all this time? Using the same words, but different meaning for the contraction. Or really, different meaning for the words that have been left out. I was freaking out like crazy, a damn pipsqueak. Where the heck was I? Where the heck were you? Ultra headlock time. Ah. Just who are these people? Well, they're refugees from Heimdall. I really am sorry for all the trouble she's caused. I know this is a lot to ask, but would it be possible for them to stay in Ymir until the situation improves there? Yes. This is definitely what you ask of the guy that operates the rail and not anyone else. He's not in a position to make choices like this. Well, sure. They're not how I pictured people from Heimdall to be, but sure. Wow, check it out. There's a really warm looking pond over there. Watch it, loser. That's clearly a trap. It's also not a pond, but whatever. Ain't no way someone will put something on that nice smack dab in the middle of town. Wow, you're right. You're so smart, Patiri. Though apparently, this is kind of relatable. In, I think, a park in New York, sometime long ago, like in the early 1900s. I don't know the specific time. Someone put out rocking chairs or something. No signs, nothing. Put them out. People would sit in them, assuming, you know, oh, they're just accessible chairs. And then like goons would jump out and be like, you gotta pay, you gotta pay, you gotta pay. So their worry here is very valid. It's like it's a reasonable thing to think it might be a trap. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go have a quick word with them so they don't go causing any more trouble. Well, that was certainly an experience. Glad we got a happy ending from it all. Quest done. Bunny watch. Did we steal that? They didn't give it to us. It's a set piece. We have a kitty watch. We have a bunny watch. We need at least one more. So I have 2 set pieces for 2 sets. Fighter, warrior, kitty, bunny. And back I go to Legram.
Where do you want to go?
kind of wish she was a little bit less loud. So, them to talk to, them to talk to. I'll go to the mansion first, and then there, and then the last one. Anybody home? 1, 2, 3, 4 people here. Wow. That's a lot of people. Welcome back. Guess what? Lord Arcade came and paid us a visit. He, Toval, and Prince Oliver all seemed really well, too. Sniffle. I kept believing they'd be alright, and I'm so glad they were. Their visit was only fleeting, but they seemed to enjoy themselves. I couldn't possibly be happier. Bye. I'm checking if there's anybody outdoors. Underutilized spaces. Fill. Nobody up there. There's these two, and then there's the chef. I've heard that you'll be flying around Eastern Erebonia aboard the famous Courageous. That's wonderful news. I couldn't believe my ears when I found out that you'd be entrusted with it. Ever since I heard, I've been desperate to tell everyone I know. But all the people I knew already knew what I knew. I like the line. I was so disappointed. I wish I could run over to the capital and tell everyone there instead. That was fun. Sorry. Looking at the pot, it's kind of... the shadows on it are kind of broken looking. If you shift, it looks like a saw. Yeah, the shadows are broken. Oh yeah. They're very messy shadows for sure. It might be weirdly dynamic for some reason. Whatever it is, it shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, it shouldn't be sidetracked. I don't have time to kill for no reason. Things have finally calmed down here in Legram. That's not to say I've got no lack of trouble. That's not to say I've got no lack of troubles on my mind. That's not to say I've got no lack. So, lack of troubles. No lack of troubles. Okay, yeah. That's not to say I've got no lack of troubles on my mind. Casper's been really worried about his hometown. I hate seeing him like that. I wish I could do something for him. Oh, hello. Lord Arcade told me all about your plans going forward. He said that you will be forming a neutral faction of your own and traveling around Eastern Erebonia aboard the Courageous. That's right. Whether we truly have the strength to achieve our goals remains to be seen, however. Still, as students of Thor's, we'll stop at nothing to do just that. We'll take back our academy from the Alliance, no matter what stands in our way. Whether you have the strength or not, you certainly have the spirit. Even in martial arts, raw strength alone is not everything. It is only by following just principles that one can achieve great things. Aha, and from what I see, you certainly aren't lacking in that regard. I have faith that you will be able to do what you set your minds to. Believe in yourselves, and follow the path you have chosen. Thank you. We'll try. Yeah, because great things from a just perspective can only be accomplished if you're just. But great things from an evil perspective can be done if you're not just, so... It's kind of a weird writing. One, two, three. If you're looking for Gavelian Ares, they're out patrolling at the moment. We've been getting some large, peculiar monsters on the highway lately, so we need to be more alert than ever. In the meantime, I'm training. If we intend on protecting Legram in Master Arcade's absence, we need to be strong. After I talk to Casper, I'm going to go check the highway. I brought some food for the students here to eat while they train, but Fritz is the only one here. What should I do? I probably shouldn't get in the way of his training, should I? Of course not. He's busy concentrating. Weird. Oh, hey guys. Haha. Nice to see you managed to find all your Class 7 buddies in the end, Reen. Thanks. I'm pretty happy about that, too. How have things been on your end? Still doing alright? So far, so good. I'd like to think I'm making myself useful here in the training hall doing whatever I can. Not that that's much, though. I'm basically just taking care of weapon maintenance and importing. And importing more when necessary. How is he importing weapons? Like, that's weird. With all the trouble that's befallen this town, I'm sure they appreciate all the help they can get. Allow me to thank you on behalf of everyone here. There's little more helpful than a properly maintained blade. Speaking of helping out, actually. Reen told Casper that they were looking for fellow Thor students to fight with them aboard the Courageous. Me? On the Courageous? Well, I'd love to help, especially if Monica's already on board, but... Hey, quick question. Could you use the Courageous to fly over to the west? I mean, theoretically, sure. We could use it to fly anywhere. That's not part of the area we're responsible for, though. We were told to focus all of our efforts on the east side of Erebonia. Meanwhile, Prince Olivert and Viscount Arcade are more than capable of handling the west. Yeah, that makes sense. I just figured I might be able to go and see how my family was doing over there, that's all. Oh. I forgot that you came from a town near the shore over there. I can hardly blame you for being worried. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm sorry, but I'm staying here in Legram for now. I'm hoping I'll get the chance to head over there and check on them myself. Alright, that makes sense. I wonder if we can find out for ourselves whether they're safe or not. Wait, I think there's some article in the Imperial Chronicle talking about the area Casper's family lives in. Maybe I should show him. Yeah, it's interesting. I do think it's kind of cool to make purchasing this relevant. I just want to see this. Ferocious week-long battle. Rebels. Yeah, I'm skimming it. I'm not sure which part they're talking about though. Yeah, I'm not certain which part they're talking about. I didn't want to read through it again. Oh, come on. There's got to be something. Flip right here, this part. What brings you back here? Casper, hear me out. I know you're worried about things back home, but I think chances are good that your family's just fine. Seriously? What makes you think that? Check out the 6th and 7th pages. Reen gave the Chronicles. The Chronicle? I haven't read one of these in a while. I've been too busy worrying to actually... Noble Limestone 6 and 7. Which is presumably... The height of danger... Never reach any densely populated areas, and as such civilian casualties are currently thought to be minor. The battle... Oh yeah. Reports suggested the battle initially began near the coast in the Lamar province, but as a result of the rebels retreating, it primarily took place farther inland. But it also says, casualties are thought to be minor in a biased reporting context. How do you know, A, casualties are minor, B, that his family isn't part of those minor casualties? No way. It's actually talking about the coast. And this. We're not exactly able to check on the situation firsthand, so we can't say for sure, but it says that while the battle started near the coast, most of it took place farther inland. That's kept civilian casualties to a minimum. Which, there could have been a lot of civilian casualties, and they would have lied. But instead, they take everything at face value. Wow. If we assume that this is honest reporting, which you have no reason to assume, you have no reason to assume it's honest reporting. There's explicitly been lies that have been stated in previous issues, but they're assuming it's honest now for some reason. I'd say it's unlikely that your home or your family were harmed. Wouldn't you agree? Going simply off of the evidence we've collected, evidence, like second-hand, third-hand news, is not evidence enough, but whatever. Going off of the evidence we've collected, I think it's likely that your family is safe. Even with the Imperial Chronicle's recent biases, they have no reason to start reporting outright lies. No, if there were mass civilian casualties, they would lie. Like, writing. Oh man, thank goodness. I can't thank you guys enough for bringing this to me. I've been worried sick about everyone for so long now that this is a massive weight off of my shoulders. Haha, I can see the relief in your face. But at least now I don't feel quite as much of a need to get over to the west to check up on everyone. So you've got me. I'll join you guys on the Courageous and help out however I can. Welcome aboard. Let's fight for our families together. You bet. What is this? I don't know, wouldn't he be safer here? Like, it's just them going around trying to collect soldiers, basically. Not all of them are going to directly fight, but it's just weird to me how obsessed they are with collecting people. Wow, that camera is janky. Oh, because I was hitting turbo accidentally. I'll check Highway 2, see if there are any people highlighted on the map. If there aren't, then it's back to... Actually, can I just do this? No, I can't. Oh, I can do a bike, though.
Let's get going.
Anyone showing up on the map? No. I don't think it would be important. There's nothing I'm going to miss. God, this drives really badly. It turns on a dime, and that's an issue. It turns without moving forwards when it turns, which makes the turning super janky. Like, it turns too much. Anyway, they mention the people. I'm assuming they're not even out there. Into here to finish the quest. Just talk to Vivi after I talk to the other two. Father Hamilcar, I actually sat down and talked with Vivi for a while the other day. Not only did he get her to calm down, he's even got her helping out around the church, and we're about to take her away. For all the slacking he does, he can be pretty incredible when the situation demands it. But it's kind of irritating that he's able to do what I couldn't just like that. Good to see Vivi's calmer now, at least. What do you mean, what did I do to get her that way? I did what I always do. Nothing. All I did was listen to her. Sadness eats away at you like a disease if you just let it build up. Okay. Oh, you're back. Hey again, Vivi. No updates on Lynn's whereabouts since we last saw you, huh? Not yet, at least. I prayed for her to be okay more times than I can count. I even started watering the plants here for extra Adios brownie points. And they're still not doing very well. The plants? Or the prayers? Ugh, I'm useless. Both as a gardening club member and as a human being. But I guess it's always been like this. That seems true. I'm only ever able to do anything because I've got Lind. And now that I don't, I was going to invite her to join the Courageous crew. But asking her now might do more harm than good. Maybe Fee could cheer her up. She's not exactly a ray of sunshine, but they're in the same club, so she still might help. And this time, they make you manually adjust the party instead of automatically swapping them out. That makes sense. Bye, Eustace. You're gone. Tired of sitting around and sulking all the time that I thought I'd try to help out. She's been useless, same as all, now she's gone. And here's Fee. This isn't you. Fee, you're the kind of person who loves causing trouble and pulling pranks on everyone. Like Adel, me, Lind, even Reen sometimes. You skip classes and even your club meetings, pretend to be Lind to embarrass her and anyone who gets involved. But in the end, you'll always leave everyone with a smile on their face. Works with the flowers too. They always look so happy whenever you take care of them. Weird. Exclamation mark. So sitting here alone, praying for someone to solve your problem for you, isn't you. Nobody would be able to stop the Vivi I know from running out and finding Lind herself. Bee's right. I definitely know you well enough to make this judgment, for sure. And as it so happens, we are flying the Courageous all over Erebonia now. I can't guarantee you'll find her, but if you come with us, there's a chance you'll hear something about where she might be. So what do you say? Are you willing to lend us a hand? You guys... Of course I will. I don't know what's gotten into me lately. You were worried about your sister being dead. It's a pretty reasonable thing to be worried and moping a bit about. But if anyone should go out there and hunt her down, it's gotta be me. Sisters need to look out for each other, right? Bingo. Welcome to the team, Vivi. Hehe, thanks. You're awfully lucky. It's not every day Erebonia's loveliest lady joins a ragtag band of adventurers like you. Vivi was welcomed aboard. Find our first year's complete. Bring. Huh, I wonder who's calling.
Yes, this is Reen Schwarzer speaking.
And suddenly they start voicing it.
Oh, good. I was worried I wouldn't be able to get in contact with you.
Oh, hey Toa. That explains it. The signal must be pretty good from the Courageous.
Listen, I've got good news and bad news. First, the good. We've actually worked out the location of one of Class 7's relatives.
Is it gonna be... Who could... my guess is it's Fiona, right?
Really?
Yeah, but that's where the bad news comes in. Anyway, can you come back to the Courageous as soon as you can? Please, it's important.
And it definitely couldn't be communicated remotely just as effectively.
Alright, sure. We'll be back as soon as we can.
Was that Toa? Yeah, she said she found one of our family members. For real? Oh, that's wonderful news. Hehe, what a nice surprise. Well, yes, it's definitely good news, but she also said there was some sort of problem. I wonder what it could be. Sounds like we better hurry back to the Courageous. I'm not going to talk to her, but I will return. Because I have quests to report. And then after I report quests at the terminal, I have to talk to her again after. I think the hat's very funny. Oh, you're back. Welcome back, everyone. Well, we came like we were asked to. Is something wrong? You're not your usual cheerful self. It could be Alyssa's mother. Okay, characters. It could be Alyssa's mother. It could be Elliot's sister. It could be Reen's sister. Is there anyone else that has relatives that we don't already know are arrested? You're not your usual cheerful self? Actually, the fact that Alyssa's there means it might be Rhineford. Elliot. Oh, okay, so it is Fiona. Try not to panic when you hear this, okay? I don't like the sound of this. You see, we found out where Fiona Craig is. Except what she would actually say is we found out where your sister is. That's what the normal thing to say would be, but Fiona? Elliot's sister? I did know that you'd lost contact with her. Where is she then? We got some information from Celtic about that, actually. Yesterday, she was moved by train from Heimdall to the Twin Dragons Bridge. Against her will, that is. It can't be. She's been taken hostage. It certainly seems that way. I imagine they plan on using her to keep the 4th Armored Division at Gorelia under their thumb. No. Surely they know that taking family members hostage is going too far. Surely they haven't already done that. Surely Gaius is aware that other family members have been taken hostage already. Surely. God, what an unnecessary line to include. From what we understand, this was the Cruzan provincial army acting alone. The Noble Alliance didn't give them the order to do so. They just went ahead and did it. I imagine it was done under similar circumstances to when those Jaegers were sent to Ymir too. Then this is likely an attempt by my father to take over leadership of the Noble Alliance. That hopeless fool. How terrible. But taking Fiona hostage isn't going to get Dad to surrender. No matter how much it hurts to do so, he'll always put his duties as a soldier over his own personal feelings. Which means, yeah, Fiona's life is in real danger. I say we take this matter into our own hands. Really? I agree completely. As do I. Yes, our country is at war, but nothing excuses doing something so cowardly. They've already done something cowardly. Acting like they didn't already kidnap Reen's sister is absurd. As his son, I have a duty to put an end to my father's foolishness. But you guys, you're set on intervening then. Remember, this means you're getting directly involved in a dispute between the Imperial Army and the Alliance, except it's very easy to justify as, hey, that's Elliot's sister. Elliot's part of our group, so our group fights you, not to help the other group. But whatever. No, we're not. Our sole objective will be to rescue Fiona. We won't attack any more than necessary, nor will we work directly alongside the Imperial Army. I think we're pretty justified here. It's just like when we stopped that jammer in Nord. It won't be the easiest operation to pull off, but that shouldn't stop us from trying. Sorry, this is going to take it out of the story. I really think it would be super fun if moving forward with this story, the Noble Alliance explicitly avoids engaging with people directly involved with Class 7. Like, they don't do anything to Alyssa's mother. They release Elise and then call the bluff that Class 7 won't attack them. Like, they, even if this didn't happen, they would help because they would help because it benefits them. But like, it's kind of interesting that it would be an interesting plot line for them to avoid giving Class 7 an excuse to attack them. Anyway, it won't be the easiest operation to pull off, but that shouldn't stop us from trying. You guys mean it? Well, hey, if you guys know what you're doing, then I ain't gonna stop you. Fiona's a friend of mine too. And then the guild has this little thing we like to call the Code. In its first article states, we're all about prioritizing the safety of civilians above all else. Nothing goes too far. That's quite the code, except it's not, because they can't interfere in political stuff even if the political results negatively impact people. So it's not above all else. There's a smiley face in the back there for some reason on the screen. I don't know why, but there is a smiley face. 1 minute she's urging caution, and the next she's egging everyone on. I think that settles things. If that's your decision, we'll be right behind you. And I'll be happy to guarantee the legitimacy of your actions as well. Thank you, Your Highness. I really can't thank you all enough. Don't worry, Fiona. We'll be there as soon as we can. It's pretty silly. The writing is blah. Cutscene. Nope, not a cutscene. Yeah, I'm not going to talk to her because I have to turn in the quest. Quest turn in. Report.
Right. We're supposed to be able to report our completed tasks in bulk using this.
Why is it voiced?
Good thing we learned how to use an orbital computer in class. Hmm? What was that?
Oh, looks like you picked the perfect time to report. Go ahead and press the answer button below the screen.
What is this?
Oh, sure.
Green baby, talk to me. It's alright. You can admit you just wanted to hear my voice.
This doesn't sound like his voice. The variant, like the change, it's just weird.
Prince Oliver? How are you? I thought you went to Western Erebonia.
Oh, I did. I can't tell you exactly where I am now, but I've been on quite the journey since we parted. I'm transmitting this audio-visual signal from my current location.
Really? Wow. I had no idea that it was possible to do that from so far away.
Well, the standard system needs to be modified a bit for it to work. Anyway, let's get right down to checking that report of yours. Interesting.
Just interesting, then. Up points. 26 is the correct amount. Yes. So I'm at 140 total.
Marvelous. You've ranked up. This is just a little
True
something for
gladiator
me.
belt. And waterfall.
Well, that's very impressive. Anyway, keep sending in these reports whenever you're able. As long as you've got something to fill me in on, you can call whenever you like.
Of course. Sorry for troubling you with this when you're clearly busy with matters over in the West, though.
Well, I did give you that responsibility in the first place, and there's no length I wouldn't go to for my beloved students. Still, even though that workaround lets me talk to you basically any time, I can't keep the connection up for too long.
Your Highness.
Olivier, we need to get moving! We're heading to Parm for now.
Be right there, my love. Well, at any rate, it seems I must bid you adieu for now. Duty calls. May Adios be with you, and good luck out there.
Oh.
The walking.
Things must be pretty difficult over there right now. Still, if he's going out of his way just to talk to you, it means he wants to, so don't feel guilty.
That's a weird line to
You're the
include.
best way he can get the inside scoop on what's happening here too, so everyone wins.
True enough. That's a good way of looking at it. We'll need to make sure we never let him down.
I kind of hope they let him down once. During Act 2, you can report completed quests. Ranks increase. New item. Wow. True gladiator belt. 4 CP every turn. That's actually huge. So, Tauros, making for slow turns, and the gladiator belt restoring on all turns. So if there's 25 people between your turns, it's not an issue because you regenerate craft points like every turn anyway. It's very good. But I have a new orbment. Waterfall. Damage plus 10% for every level lower the foe is than you. That's so worthless. That's worthless. What's the point of that? Like, it's, yes, double damage, but if they're 10 levels below you, it's generally going to be an easy fight, right? Like, they're not going to give the final, you're not going to be 10 levels over the final boss, because it's going to scale, right? So, what's the point of this quartz? Whatever. I mean, it's just a grinding quartz, right? So you can even more easily one-shot everything? I can't see what else it's for. But it's time to wrap up for today. Again, the smiley face right here is pretty silly. Yeah, that was productive. This, again, as always, the small scale writing is a little ish. Like, oh no, these people kidnapped are using a family member as a hostage, despite the fact they've already done this. It's just bad writing. Anyway, hopefully it's an interesting scene next time. So, have a nice day. Bye-bye.